Clark fire away and hits a three.
One left for their left hand.
Clark just spins away from Hayes. Hayes fires and hits.
What a tough two.
Clark launches and hits.
She was supposed to be playing it safe with her back. Coming off a missed game for back stiffness, the consensus was clear. Ease her back in, watch the minutes, keep her under control. Cunningham hands off to Johnson, triple teamed, kicks it out to Clark. 3 more. And then the Golden State Valkyries stunned the crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, seizing an 8-point lead during the second quarter. Caitlin Clark watched that lead grow, felt the building go silent, and promptly lost her mind in the best way possible. Look at Hull hustle on defense. Clark, wow, from another stratosphere. 22 points, 9 assists, 4 threes, a technical, and a flagrant. 6 fast break points on 2 attempts, perfect shooting, and a third quarter performance. So dominant it buried Golden State before they even knew what hit them. This matchup is heating up fast. Clark on the drive, draws the foul, banks it home, and won. Indiana Fever 90, Golden State Valkyries 82. Caitlin Clark is back, and she returned with pure aggression. Clark, oh, beautiful find, inside to Cunningham, and won. Love Elite Basketball, want every single game broken down like this? Subscribe to Women Hoops now and smash that like button. We cover every detail so you never miss a play. Let's start with the context, because it really matters. Clark missed the Portland Fire game with back stiffness, yet Indiana still won convincingly, a massive statement for their team depth. Returning against Golden State, there were real questions about her minutes and rhythm. Would Indiana baby her or just let her fly? I have had enough of your excuses. This might have been the night Caitlin Clark officially put the entire league on notice. The Fever grabbed the win, and Clark pretty much put this squad on her back and carried them home. The answer was clear. She was not being managed. She was fully unleashed. By the night's end, she had collected a technical and a flagrant foul, telling you everything about the intensity she brought from the opening tip. The first quarter was tight and measured. Indiana 19, Golden State 18. A 1-point game heading into the second. Nothing crazy, just 2 professional teams sizing each other up. Clark was finding her rhythm, dishing out assists, and getting her legs under her after the time off. Then the second quarter went sideways. Golden State outscored Indiana 26-18. The Valkyries were hitting shots. Their bench was firing. They even pushed to an 8-point lead, their biggest of the game. Golden State's bench finished with 43 points, which honestly deserves a round of applause. Tiffany Hayes was heating up, and Clark was knocking down shots off the bench. The Valkyries had real energy and depth, and Indiana's defense just did not have the answers. Halftime arrived with Golden State ahead. The arena had gone quiet. That positive comeback narrative from before the tip-off was suddenly looking a lot more complicated. Clark was on the floor, but Golden State held the momentum. Indiana needed a spark, and the third quarter was not a spark. It was a total detonation. She is good. Caitlin Clark naturally warps the space on the floor, Pat. You have to adjust. Indiana dropped 29 points in the third to Golden State 17, a 12-point swing that flipped the game completely. Caitlin Clark was the engine behind almost every single possession. She was in full goldfish mode during that third quarter. That same locked-in energy we saw in 2024. Every play its own world. No dwelling on mistakes, no hesitation, just reading the defense and reacting at top speed. She was pushing the pace, converting every single fast break. 6 points on 2 attempts, perfect efficiency. She was slicing into the paint and drawing fouls before the defense could even get set. She was hitting triples with defenders draped all over her and finding cutters like Boston in the post, creating absolute chaos off the dribble that Golden State could not contain. We started fast, then lost the lead in the second. Caitlin Clark and the Fever showed out in the third, outscoring them 29-17. The big three showed up. Aliyah Boston with 20 points on 8 of 15 shooting, 16 rebounds, and 3 blocks. That is what a healthy, locked-in Caitlin Clark does to a defense that thought they could manage her. They cannot manage her. Nobody can. When she is in this mode, That third quarter performance sent a message to the entire league. Let's break down Clark's night because these numbers warrant a closer look. 22 points, shooting 7 of 15 from the field, that is 47%, 4 of 9 from deep, and perfect at the line. Plus 9 assists, 2 boards, a steal, a block, 8 fouls drawn, and 6 fast break points on only 2 attempts. That 3-point percentage is the stat that keeps gaining real weight. 4 of 9 from deep, 44%. Over her last 3 games, she has been hitting shots at a truly elite clip. Coming off a back injury in her return, she still went 4 of 9 from distance. That is a shooter who is fully recovered with confidence from range at its highest point this 2026 season. When she is hitting 44% from 3 while attacking the paint, you cannot build a defensive scheme to stop her. You cannot sag off, you cannot switch everything, you cannot just load up on the drive. Every defensive choice leaves something else wide open. The 9 assists highlight a pattern becoming the hallmark of her 2026 campaign. Her playmaking operates at a level we have genuinely never seen in this league. She spots passing windows that nobody else sees. She zips them in faster than rotations can react, consistently enough that her teammates now cut to her vision instead of the set play. 22 assists over Indiana's last 2 games. That is a facilitator at the absolute peak of her powers. Now, we have to talk about the 6 turnovers. It is too many, and that has been a recurring issue for Clark all season. She plays loose and fast, trusting her instincts, but sometimes pays the price with an errant pass or a dribble she loses. Turnovers are the one blemish here. If Indiana faces elite competition like the New York Liberty next, those mistakes will get punished. It is the one place where her instinct over calculation style comes with a real cost. The technical and flagrant fouls matter because they reflect who Caitlin Clark is as a competitor. They should not be ignored. She played with real heat last night. Her competitive intensity crossed the line twice. Whether those specific calls were warranted is up for debate. Watching Clark play, the contact she absorbs and how she handles physical defense almost invites a reaction, but that same fire fuels those massive scoring bursts and her efficiency in the open floor. You cannot have the elite production without the intense fire. She plays hot and she plays brilliant. Those 2 things live in the same player every single night. The key is that neither incident broke her rhythm. She took the tech, moved on, and kept making plays. That is the goldfish mentality at work. Something went wrong, but she wiped the slate clean instantly. She was already focused on the next sequence before the officials even finished talking. Aliyah Boston just had the quietest 16-rebound game I have ever seen. I checked the box score and thought, that has to be the most low-key 16 rebounds ever. Aliyah Boston, back-to-back double-doubles, 2 nights of incredible output, and we really need to stop treating this like a footnote. Watch Mitchell, feeds inside. Boston squares up, spins, smooth footwork, 20 points. 16 rebounds, 8 of 15, shooting 53%, 3 of 4 from the line, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. 12 defensive boards, plus 15 while on the floor, and back-to-back games with double-digit rebounds. Boston is owning the glass in a way that shifts Indiana's entire second-chance dynamic. Those 4 offensive boards created 5 second-chance points and turned dead possessions into real scoring runs. She is also scoring with high efficiency, 53% from the field against a tough Golden State defense that gave her nothing for free. Every finish required fighting through contact, and she converted over half of them anyway. Here is the stat that tells the story. Mitchell attacks, gets to the rim, but misses. Hall tips it out. Boston is open, and she nails the 3. Her offensive rating last night was 122.7. Her defensive rating was 84.7. That gap of 38 points per 100 possessions is what a 2-way star looks like. When Boston is on the floor, Indiana is significantly better at both ends of the court. Those are back-to-back star-level showings, and we can officially stop questioning if Indiana has any depth beyond Clark. They have Two players capable of carrying this team. Right now, both of them are playing the best basketball of their career simultaneously. Kelsey Mitchell stayed aggressive at the free throw line, exactly what Indiana needed from her. 19 points on 4 of 10 shooting is below her standard, but 11 for 11 at the line, perfect. Every single trip to the stripe was money. She drew 5 fouls, proving she kept attacking and forcing contact even when the shots weren't falling. That 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio is the real, quiet highlight of Mitchell's performance. For a player often criticized for her decision-making, that ratio is a sign of genuine growth. She was dissecting double teams, reading help rotations, and making the smart pass instead of forcing up a contested jump. With 11 perfect free throws and 3 assists in an 8-point win, Mitchell delivered when it mattered most. Sophie Cunningham gave the bench a boost, scoring 11 points on 4 of 8, shooting with 2 threes. She stayed active, played physical, and provided a scoring punch while the Golden State reserves piled up 43 points. Indiana's bench managed 20 total, a tough gap, but Cunningham's the reason. It wasn't much worse. For Golden State, Tiffany Hayes dropped 19 points, hitting 7 of 13 from the floor and all 3 free throws. She was their most efficient weapon, carrying the Valkyries with a big second quarter surge. Caitlin Chanot came off the bench for 18 points, shooting 7 of 11 and hitting both her triples. Veronica Burton added 17 points, drawing 6 fouls and sinking 7 of 8 from the stripe. Golden State's 43 bench points was an impressive total, and against a less complete team, those contributions probably would have been enough to win, but Indiana pushed their lead to 10, and the Valkyries had no answer for Clark and Boston. Shooting 37% as a team wasn't good enough, and despite the excellent bench, their starters simply couldn't keep pace with a fully healthy Indiana roster. Big picture, after 6 games in 2026, the Indiana Fever are 5-2. Their only 2 losses were overtime heartbreakers decided in the final seconds. Their 5 wins show a team with a clear, dangerous identity that grows stronger every night. Caitlin Clark is hitting 44% from deep since returning. Aliyah Boston has back-to-back double-doubles. Kelsey Mitchell is drawing fouls at an elite rate. The system is finally clicking. The roster is healthy, and with the New York Liberty up next, they face their first true test. The real measure of this squad is just 1 week away. Last night wasn't perfect. 19 turnovers. They nearly gave it away in the second quarter, allowing 43 points to a bench unit. But look at how Indiana responded. They took a hit, trailed by 8, then dropped 29 in the third. No panic, no shrinking. They attacked. Clark led, Boston owned the paint, and Mitchell hit every single free throw. That third quarter response to adversity was the most encouraging part of the entire night. Not the score or the stats, but the refusal to fold. That is championship DNA right there. Indiana isn't there yet, but they are building a foundation 1 quarter at a time. Caitlin Clark is back, fully healthy, draining 44% of her threes and dishing 9 assists nightly. 5-2. Bring on the Liberty. This Indiana squad is finally ready to see exactly where they stand.